They had like the kiss cam kind of thing that goes around that zeroed in on this one couple.
They don't even get caught if they're just both at the concert together. They only get caught because they're openly canoodling at the concert. It betrays a lack of respect for any sort of judgment, but also for a basic value system.
The CEO of a billion-dollar business is in damage control after his affair with a colleague was exposed, of all places, on Kisscam.
Now, a US tech company boss has been suspended. That's after a viral video appeared to show him hugging a woman at a Coldplay concert. Astronomer says that its chief executive, Andy Byron, has been put on leave, although the company stopped short of confirming if he is the one captured in the footage. The video, which appears to show Byron embracing the company's HR director, was shown on a giant screen at the concert in Boston.
Coldplay threw a couple on the kiss cam. Turns out they were having an affair? I don't think even Coldplay can fix this.
I feel like this isn't a good way, and if you're gonna get caught cheating, it shouldn't be like this.
Well, maybe he should have thought of that before he was cheating.
Kisscam is known for its heartwarming moments, but it caught an awkward one at a Coldplay concert. It zoomed in on a couple cuddling, but internet sleuths were quick to work out why they didn't want to be seen.
Don't cheat on your wife, that makes you a scumbag. Let's just start there, full stop. But if you want to be a retarded scumbag, then you can go cheat on your wife at a concert where you're liable to be put on a massive camera in front of everyone, tens of thousands of people here in Boston, watching this.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on, you're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. I'm not quite sure.
That's a Coldplay concert, and it is the most viral clip on the internet.
If you're gonna have an affair, why would you bring her to a concert in public where everybody can see you? What if you even ran into someone you knew? Who cares about the Jumbotron? What if you ran into someone you knew? Huh?
Forget the Epstein files. I want to see the text messages of that Astronomer CEO that got caught cheating at the Coldplay concert.
I would pay to be a fly on the wall in the office.
And this is pretty viral stuff. Or do we have to get HR involved? I know that HR was involved.
The moral of the story here is don't get caught on Kisscam. And the tidbit is that's not his wife.
And can we talk about the employee that was with them? She obviously knows what's going on because she's there.
But apparently, this couple will not be fans of Coldplay for long.
Chris Martin just delivered what might be the softest hard roast in Coldplay history, and it was aimed directly at disgraced Astronomer CEO Andy Byron. This wasn't your typical concert banter. This was a calculated callback, and the fans caught it immediately. At Coldplay's next show after the Boston scandal, the kiss cam hits the screen again. Everyone's holding their breath. And Chris? He looks up and goes, "You sure about that?" That's it. But the crowd went wild. Twitter exploded, TikTok ran with it, and just like that, Chris dropped a message without dropping a name. But that wasn't even the most savage part of this story. Because behind the scenes, people were still connecting dots, and a new theory started picking up speed. That Andy's wife, Kerrigan Byron, didn't just leave him after the scandal. She may have set the whole thing in motion. The timing was suspicious. She vanished the moment the video hit the internet, dropped his name on social media. Rumors say she moved out of their house before the video even went viral. And now, fans are going full detective, saying maybe she knew all along. Maybe she wanted him to get caught. Publicly, on camera. Because if there's one thing this story proves, it's that what happens in front of 60,000 people can still feel like a trap with one target.
Oh, look at these two. All right, come on, you're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
And Chris Martin, he just made sure we all remembered who lit the match. So let's rewind real quick, because this whole thing started with just one camera, one joke, and one painfully awkward hug. It was a packed night at Fenway Park. Coldplay on stage, energy electric. The kiss cam starts making its usual rounds, fans giggling, couples playing along, everyone enjoying the vibe. And then it lands on Andy Byron, CEO of the tech startup Astronomer, and the woman next to him, Kristen Cabot, his company's head of HR. From the outside, it looked harmless. Two coworkers at a concert, maybe a little closer than usual. But that's when Chris Martin dropped the line that would go viral. Either they're having an affair, or they're just very shy. The crowd laughed. But the moment Andy and Kristen realized they were on camera, their body language changed instantly. Kristen turned away. Andy practically ducked out of frame. It was the kind of reaction that says, "We weren't supposed to be seen." And that's all it took. The clip hit TikTok first, then Twitter, Instagram, Reddit. Within hours, people figured out who they were. Not just fans, internet sleuths, people inside the tech world, even astronomer employees started whispering. And what made it worse? This wasn't just any company. Astronomer had been preaching corporate ethics for years. Andy had done interviews bragging about a zero-tolerance policy for inappropriate workplace relationships. Kristen was literally in charge of enforcing it. So when the footage of them canoodling on camera went viral, it wasn't just embarrassing, it was explosive. Within 2 days, Andy was placed on leave. Then came the resignation. Kristen vanished from LinkedIn, the company went into crisis mode, and Chris Martin, he just kept performing. But what fans didn't know then, and what's coming into focus now, is that this may not have been a spontaneous disaster.
Oh, she's talking to her friend. That's her friend.
I'm not quite sure.
She whips her back to the camera.
Yeah.
And he actually bends down to get out of the, like squatting to get out of the sight. Honestly, they should have listened to me. Look, well, he's really hugging her. It's tight.
Yeah, you just lean in. You have to lean in at that point.
Right?
Some believe it was a takedown with intent. And the signs? They started pointing at Andy's wife. So, just when everyone thought the Coldplay kiss cam drama had settled, Chris Martin pulled off the most iconic live comeback we've seen in a minute, and he didn't even have to name drop. This happened at Coldplay's next concert after the Boston scandal, this time in Philadelphia. The kiss cam was back. The audience knew it. Chris knew it. And when the screen panned to another couple in the crowd, the whole stadium went silent for a second, like everyone was wondering, is he going to say it again? And then he did. Just not how anyone expected. Chris looked up at the screen, smiled, and casually said, "You sure about that?" That's it. Just 4 words. But it was the way he said it. Lighthearted, playful, but dripping with subtext. The crowd erupted. TikTok lit up. Twitter called it the cleanest roast ever without saying a name. Reddit users were already calling it Fenway Part 2. And what made it hit even harder? Chris never acknowledged the previous scandal, never mentioned Andy Byron, never brought up the backlash. He didn't have to. The audience knew. The internet knew. It was intentional without being aggressive, and it showed exactly how in control Chris was of the moment. This wasn't about revenge or mockery. It was about reminding everyone. He said one line and an empire crumbled. The fans loved it. They saw Chris not just as a performer, but as someone who stayed classy while still sending a message. That kind of restraint? Powerful, especially in a culture where most people either go silent or post apology videos. Chris didn't need a PR team, he just needed a mic. And while he moved on with the show like nothing happened, Andy Byron was still off the grid. No new statements, no public sightings, just rumors. And behind the scenes, the conspiracy theory was gaining momentum. Because now, everyone was looking at Kerrigan Byron and asking whether this was her plan all along. So, while Chris Martin was out here delivering clean-cut burns with 4 words or less, the internet was busy building a whole revenge narrative behind the scenes. And right at the center of it, Andy Byron's wife, Kerrigan Byron. Now, Megan didn't post a statement. She didn't go on a podcast. She didn't say anything at all. But somehow, her silence said everything. And that's what made it so powerful. Because here's what people noticed first.
Oh, look at these two.
In a moment, these lovers won't ever forget.
Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
And one the world can't stop talking about.
I'm not quite sure what to do. Did we rumble in?
Kiss cam at a Coldplay gig in Boston, and their reaction said it all. They had something to hide.
Not long after the video went viral, Megan's last name disappeared from her social media. Then came reports that she'd left their Massachusetts home and was laying low in Maine. No press, no comments, just vanished, which would already be enough to stir up speculation. But then, TikTok got involved. And that's when the real theory took off. Creators started dropping side-by-side timelines, showing when the kiss cam clip dropped, when Megan's profile changed, when she went offline, And the conclusion they kept hinting at? She knew. Not only that, some started speculating she may have let it happen. Think about it. Andy walks into a Coldplay concert with Kristen Cabot, his company's head of HR. They're seated together, hugging, laughing, definitely not just work friends. And then, boom, the kiss cam hits, Chris Martin cracks a line, and the entire thing explodes. And Megan, she doesn't flinch. Reddit threads started asking, did she suspect the relationship? Did she know Kristen would be there? Some people think she might have even encouraged the concert outing, knowing full well what could happen if cameras caught them looking too cozy. Was it a trap? Was it calculated? Or was it just karma with perfect timing? The internet doesn't have the answers, but it definitely has theories. And the way Megan handled the fallout, clean, quiet, and surgical, only added fuel to the fire. Because whether it was intentional or not, the result was the same. Her husband's secret went public, and she walked away untouched. So just when the internet thought the story had hit peak drama, a new photo dropped, and it changed everything. This wasn't just another frame from the kiss cam moment. This was a clear, time-stamped shot of Andy Byron and Kristen Cabot arriving together at Fenway Park. No crowd, no concert lights, just the two of them walking in side by side before the show even started. And with that one photo, the entire, maybe it was just a bad look excuse, gone. Because this wasn't some spontaneous hug between coworkers who bumped into each other. This was a pre-planned outing, a concert night where the CEO and his HR director showed up together, sat together, and got cozy enough for a stadium camera to pick up on it. And now, people were wondering if that leaked arrival shot was intentional too. Who took it? Who sent it to the media? Why did it only surface after the scandal had already blown up? Some fans are convinced it came from someone inside Astronomer.
I hope we didn't do something bad.
Chris Martin knew it, the internet did too.
Someone who had receipts, knew this wasn't the first time Andy and Kristen had crossed lines, and decided the concert was their moment to let the public see it too. But others went straight back to the wife theory. If Megan Kerrigan Byron had already suspected something, if she knew Kristen was the +1 that night, could she have had someone capture the proof and wait for the perfect moment to drop it? Because here's what made the leak feel surgical. It didn't come with a caption. It didn't accuse anyone of anything. It just existed. A photo that answered every lingering doubt about whether Andy and Kristen being together was a coincidence. And once that image hit the timeline, there was no going back. This wasn't just an awkward moment at a concert, it was a timeline, a pattern, a paper trail with pictures. And for Andy Byron, that meant the damage was now documented. So, at this point, Andy Byron was out, Kristen Cabot was silent, and Astronomer, the once squeaky clean tech startup known for preaching transparency and ethics, was officially in meltdown mode. Let's break this down. After the video went viral and the arrival photo surfaced, Astronomer's board had no choice. They placed Andy Byron on administrative leave almost immediately. Within days, he resigned. No farewell post, no apology, just gone. And Kristen? Her LinkedIn disappeared. She was marked as on leave, but there was no formal announcement, no press statement, no clarity. And that silence, it created even more chaos inside the company. Employees started asking questions. Slack channels lit up with theories. Screenshots from company events were resurfacing. People were openly wondering whether Kristen had received preferential treatment, whether internal complaints had been ignored, and whether the board had known more than they admitted. Then came the investors. Astronomer had been one of Silicon Valley's rising stars, valued at over $1 billion, known for its sleek data platform and workplace culture. But the scandal brought all of that into question. VCs started quietly pulling back. One source told TechCrunch that a few key partners were demanding a full internal review before committing to another round of funding. And what really stung, the company's reputation wasn't just bruised, it was flipped upside down. Astronomer had literally branded itself on things like no gray areas and accountability at every level. But now, the two people responsible for enforcing that culture were at the center of a public meltdown, complete with hugs, leaks, and viral jokes.
It's time to kiss it goodbye. Baseball is probably not the only thing you can say that about.
Meanwhile, the interim CEO, Pete DeJoy, tried to stabilize things. He issued a brief statement saying they were moving forward and focusing on the company's mission. But let's be real, the internet wasn't done roasting them yet. Because while Astronomer was trying to clean up the mess, Chris Martin had already won the PR battle. And what made it even more brutal? He didn't even lift a finger. Now, while Andy Byron was spiraling and Astronomer was trying to control the narrative, one person stayed completely unbothered through it all. Chris Martin. And that's not by accident, because behind the charm and the subtle onstage jabs, Coldplay's frontman was sitting on something even stronger than a viral moment: bulletproof legal protection. See, when Andy first threatened to take legal action, yeah, that actually happened. He reportedly told close associates he felt targeted and humiliated by Chris's joke. He even floated the idea that Coldplay had somehow crossed a line by displaying him on the Jumbotron without warning. But here's what Andy didn't factor in. Every major venue, especially ones like Fenway Park, have signage at all entry points that state, "By entering, you agree to be filmed or photographed for public use." It's standard event policy. It's posted in bold. And Coldplay's team, they made sure every legal checkbox was marked. So when Andy tried to come for Chris Martin, there was no case. And it gets better. Chris's comment at the concert? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. That line falls squarely under protected artistic speech. It wasn't slander. It wasn't targeted. It was a vague, playful remark made in the context of a performance. No names, no accusations, no violation. And Coldplay fans? They backed him up hard. People started reposting old clips of Chris interacting with fans mid-show, joking with couples, improvising song lyrics, calling out funny signs in the crowd. It's part of the Coldplay brand. It's what makes the concerts memorable. The kiss cam? Just another layer of that. So, when Andy tried to flip the script, Chris didn't even need to clap back. His silence was the mic drop. And the only thing his team reportedly did? Review policies again just to stay airtight, even though they didn't have to change a thing. It was smooth, professional, and a quiet reminder that the power of the moment was never in the joke. It was in the fallout. But while Chris stayed elevated, fans were still busy rewriting the story behind the scenes. Because next, the trap theory hit its peak, and people were convinced Andy never stood a chance. Section 7, the trap. Theory. Was Andy set up? So by now, the internet had already crowned Chris Martin the low-key MVP of the entire scandal. But what fans really couldn't stop dissecting was this idea that Andy Byron never walked into the scandal. He was led into it. Enter the trap theory.
I think that the actual star of this story, though, is Chris Martin, who decides, given an opportunity here, to let these people off the hook and just let the camera move along, to suggest explicitly that these people are either having an affair. I mean, seriously? You just throw the fans under the bus who paid their hard-earned money for these tickets?
Well, good call from the lead man there, because it turns out that they were, in fact, probably having an affair.
It started as a whisper on Reddit and TikTok, a few timeline comparisons, a couple of cryptic Instagram captions. But it didn't take long before people were fully convinced that Andy's wife, Kerrigan Byron, didn't just react to the kiss cam moment, she might have seen it coming. And the pieces, they actually fit. Let's walk through it. Meghan drops Andy's last name from her socials within 48 hours of the video going viral. But some users claim she had already started pulling away from public view days before the Fenway concert. Her LinkedIn went quiet. Mutual friends were posting less. One theory suggested she had already moved out before the footage aired. All signs pointed to someone who was waiting for the right moment. Then came the speculation that Meghan might have known Kristen would be there. Maybe she'd seen something, heard something. Maybe Andy had lied about his +1, and when the concert night came around, she let it all play out. Public setting, thousands of witnesses, and one single kiss cam to capture the truth. Was it a setup? Not in the staged camera kind of way, but more like a controlled detonation, a scenario where Meghan didn't have to say anything because the world would do the exposing for her. And once it exploded, she vanished. No interviews, no statements, no PR cleanup, just gone. And in that silence, people started rewriting the story. This wasn't a careless CEO who got caught. This was a man who walked into the perfect storm. And Meghan, she didn't need to raise her voice because she raised the stakes. Now, whether that's true or not, nobody knows for sure. But the narrative stuck. And once it did, Andy's image was permanently reframed, not as a leader who made a mistake, but as the guy who never saw it coming. So, here we are. one Coldplay concert, one camera, one off-the-cuff joke. And now, a tech CEO has lost his job, his company's in a tailspin, his marriage may be over, and the internet's still obsessed. And the question that keeps coming back isn't what happened, it's how much of this was accidental and how much was orchestrated, because when you zoom out, this doesn't look like a typical scandal. It looks like a sequence. First, the video, then the resignation, then the photo leak, then the wife goes radio silent. Then Chris Martin delivers the most subtle, savage live callback in recent memory and keeps it moving. That's not chaos, that's choreography. And fans can't get over the possibility that Kerrigan Byron, who never spoke publicly, never posted a single reaction, played the long game. She let Andy attend the concert with Kristen. Maybe she even knew the seating arrangement. Maybe she didn't need to control the moment. She just needed to let it happen. And once the world saw it, she vanished, clean, cold, done. Meanwhile, Astronomer is still trying to re-establish trust. Kristen's future at the company remains uncertain. Internal investigations are quietly underway, and the brand once known for ethical leadership is now a permanent footnote in viral internet history. And Chris Martin, he never apologized. He never addressed the backlash because he didn't have to. His one-liner set the tone. His silence kept the spotlight off himself. And his follow-up comment, "You sure about that?" was the final stamp that reminded everyone he owns the stage, not the scandal. So what's left? A legacy shattered, a brand compromised, and a theory that maybe, just maybe, the wife knew all along. Was it karma? Was it ego? Or was it the cleanest revenge play corporate America's ever seen? You decide. Because this started as a Coldplay kiss cam moment and ended as a masterclass in downfall.